Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful LCA podcast. Today we're diving into something a little different, the upcoming Marvel film Thunderbolts. On the surface is a story about anti-heroes, redemption, and second chances, but underneath all the action is really about something much deeper, the weight of guilt, trauma, and the search for identity and belonging. In this episode, we'll explore the mental and emotional struggles of the characters face, how their past mistakes shape who they are, how to cope with the regret, and what redemption really looks like when you've been labeled a bad guy. We'll talk about self forgiveness, emotional repression, and what it means to find healing after pain. Themes that connect not only with superheroes, but with all of us. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's unpack the psychology behind Thunderbolts together. How are you doing today, Norma? Before we get
I'm
into the movie.
tired. I I didn't sleep much last night. I was tossing and turning, so I'm tired. How are you?
The exact same thing. It's always it's always tough with the girls. They're still little and they still need our attention at night, and they want to jump in our bed and do all that stuff. So I slept on the couch, and the couch is not fucking comfortable. So yes, still feeling tired, still trying to work on the sleep. But yeah, we'll push through it.
We
Um,
got this.
my first thing for you was excited to see just like what you thought overall about the movie.
I don't know if it was because I was already going into it with. I mean, you didn't share a lot about the movie. You just said like you got to watch this movie, and I was like, okay. One, I don't know watch movies.
Mhm,
Two, I don't like I'm not even really familiar with like Marvel and the stories and all of
mhm,
that. So I'm like, okay, I guess. Like when you first told me like you have to watch it. It's like a really good movie. Like it's a good movie about mental health. I'm like, what the fuck? Um so I don't know if it was because I already went in with that bias of like I need to look out for the mental health stuff.
mhm,
Um but I think like just the way the movie starts too. Um, I thought that she was gonna kill herself.
mhm.
Um, so I was like, "Oh shit, she's in a very deep spot," but I didn't think it was going to be to the point of like, I don't know. In my brain, I was like, she's gonna be the superhero. I don't know anything about this, okay? So I thought
Mhm.
she was gonna be like the superhero or whatever. That she was gonna try to kill herself and somebody was gonna find her and whatever. Um, but like right off the bat, I'm like, this bitch has depression.
Mhm.
Like this bitch is depressed. But it was I think I've like watched maybe I don't know, maybe like Captain America, maybe, but
Mm,
I've I don't think I've paid so much attention to like the personal story of the characters. Um so to me it feels as though this is like the first movie that I watched that is like a superhero movie, but puts so much emphasis on like the mental health aspect. Um, like even at some point when like Yelena meets Bob, and then when they're talking, like right before they get out of there, and the knockoff Captain America goes like, "Are you done with therapy?" Like just even making like their little reference to therapy, I thought was like a pretty cool touch. Um, but it was a really good movie. It was really really good. Um, I I can see like whoever the director of it was that is like pro mental health. Just like the powers that Bob had and stuff. I'm like, hmm. Obviously, like at the end, um, I did cry. Like my mom was sitting next to me, and and I like grabbed onto her arm and I was just like squeezing you. I was like, "Mom, this is what therapy is." I'm just like bawling. Like, literally bawling. Like, "That's what therapy is, mom." Um, but it was a I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you for recommending it. But yeah, I'm interested into what this episode turns out to be because I also have no idea where it's gonna go.
Well, I did the same thing as we did with the Inside Out, where I took notes throughout the movie.
Oh, so
I
did I.
rewatched it. Yeah, so I think we can go through all the talking points and what you see. I mean, the message is gonna be obviously, as you see, showing up, showing up for each other from the very beginning, and yeah, the depression part of it. Yeah, from the I gotta introduce you to, because of who you are, you'll appreciate Marvel more than that. There's a reason why it's so popular. There's a message in every movie. You just gotta like have the emotional ability to fucking see the things that they're trying to tell you. And that nothing has been this deep or this that hit home so much because of what it's talking about, and what like the thing that I enjoy spending my time doing and shit. Also, the fact that I want to bring the listeners and you back to when I saw it at the movie theaters. It was like shit. I know what this feels like. I've
Mhm.
been through the void. I've been to the void. I know the emptiness. I
Yeah.
know the thing. I know that shit. So I'm like, holy shit. And like, even talking it to it now, like it's showing up in my stomach, right? Like I can feel the fucking thing, the uneasiness of that, of like knowing what that feels like. So that's what I felt when I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god, like this is fucking amazing. So instantly, I'm like, that's my favorite Marvel movie. Like I don't give a fuck
Mhm.
what they even do, and like going forward is gonna be so tough to beat because it's just such uh, a great way to tell the story, to talk about therapy, to talk about showing up, to healing relationships with parent and daughter, um and all those different topics that it talks about. I just thought it was amazing, like from the get-go. Like you said at the very beginning, was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And after watching it the second time, it's just much more. I literally finished watching it like 30 minutes ago, and I told Celia, like, babe, like it's fucking way better than we thought, like from the first time. Because we used to, when there was a little bit more time and no no girls as much, we used to watch the movie twice. Like we would go on Friday, we would go on Thursday, which is opening night, and then either go Friday or Saturday again. So every Marvel movie we would watch twice, because we understand now that you get so much more depth and so much thing when you're not emotionally involved in the story, and once you know what's going to happen, you're able to catch up all the little details. So yeah,
Mm,
watching it the second time and taking notes is like, holy shit. Like it's much more, it's even better than I thought it was.
yeah.
um so yeah, I mean, if you want to, I can lead in there, and then if you jump into anything that reminds you that of the points that you want to have, or you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
um but just to give you guys, or give you also, which is cool. So the Thunderbolts, they're all like villains from past movies. So every single one of them is a villain
Oh.
from every movie in the past. Yelena was like a villain from her sister Black Widow. Red Guardian was like a Russian, which they paint Russians fucking villain. Bucky was also like turned into, like, the story of Bucky's sick. So Bucky was turned into a super soldier with a serum, and then he has a certain amount of words that, when set together, triggers him to become like a villain, and then they can turn him off and turn it on like that. So using certain words by association, all that stuff. Um, Ghost was the villain from Ant Man and the Wasp, I think, one of those movies. And Taskmaster, the one that gets killed at the beginning, was also the villain in one of the movies. So Taskmaster and Jelena, which is the girl that gets shot at the very beginning when they're in the vault.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's actually a girl, and she gets shot, and she was also in the movie with in the same movie as Jelena. So these are all rejects, villains, and that's why throughout the movie you
Mm,
see they're all like realizing and understanding the mistakes that they done, and they all want to change, and they all want a second chance. Like that's why that's happening in there. They all have like a past, and they're all villains.
got it. Okay, okay. See, like, these things, like,
Yeah, yeah, and that's more
I
like,
don't know.
I'm not trying to not to geek out so much on Marvel, but like the part that we love it so much is because they're all connected. Like all the
Mhm.
movies are connected to one another, and you, if you watched all the ones in the past, you'll be able to appreciate more what is happening here and there, you know. But yeah, so like you said at the beginning, my next note that I have here is like she starts off and you're seeing she's depressed and you're like, oh shit, she's gonna fucking like
I
into that,
know.
right?
I was like, this is a very gruesome way to start a movie, guys. Like, if you want to talk about mental health, there's other ways that we can do it. Um, but yeah, like, because my family and I were watching it, and when she like jumps off, I was like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like really gonna do this. Uh, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no way if she's the one that's starting off the movie, there's no way that she's gonna die. Um,
Yeah.
but then when like the parachute comes on, and yeah, like as soon as because I have my iPad, I don't have it with me right now, but I had my iPad, and as soon as she said the void, I'm like depression. I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't even know her name yet, and I just put blonde girl has depression.
Yeah. Yeah. So then
um,
she starts off expressing how it feels, right? So she's saying, "No, I think it
mhm,
started when my sister died, but yeah, I'm trying not to go into the the geeky, nerdy stuff of the movie, but yeah, she thinks it starts when her sister died, and then she starts as she's doing that mission, she starts talking about how it feels to her, right? Like
mhm,
distracted, doesn't have any feel like there's no reason to do this, there's no hope, or there's that, or all of that. As she's doing that, is how she's expressing how it feels to her, like right from the get go. And you, if you like I remember watching it the first time. I'm like, I can tell just like you, like, oh shit, this is like where it's going, like right away. You know, it's a thing.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, she said she felt empty, bored, no interest on her job. Um, and then afterwards she goes to Alexi, right?
Yeah.
And he, the Red Guardian, which is, side note, is the only freaking Marvel character that I can ever cosplay for so far, right? Like I ever thought about it, like just look at my aesthetics and his, and I was like, I just give me the fucking hat, and I'm like, I'm in. Like I just need the fucking the mask and the thing, right? I was like, that's cool. I don't have to do much. Just literally give me the mask. I got the beard, got the whole shit. Like it's easy for me to cosplay as that. Like I would actually be a hit.
It
Um,
would be.
yeah, so he's also dealing with depression on his own, right? Like he's just drinking, his house is messy, he's just sitting there. It reminded me how they depicted Thor in another movie when he gained hella weight, got a long beard, and was just drinking and messy and stuff like that, you know.
But see, like I think it's important that we differentiate because they're both depressed.
Hmm.
But what we see is that with Lexi, he is more like the movie type of depressed. Like when something happens
Hmm.
and then you are on the couch with snacks everywhere, everything
Hmm.
is dirty, you're like pigging the fuck out on junk food. So that is what we think depression is, right? Of like we see it as like you have to be on the couch, you have to be on this like slump, and it needs to be super super evident that you're depressed. And that's what a lot of people think depression looks like.
Looks like.
So then if somebody takes their life that is like quote unquote just like, but he or she or they didn't, you couldn't even tell, right? Like they're expecting somebody to just be like so down. But on the other hand, sorry, I have boogies. um Yelena on the other side, she talks about like, okay, like I go to work, I do the job, like I do what I have to do, like I am functional, and I'm
Yeah.
on day to day doing whatever it is that I need to do. However, there is there's always this void. There's always this sense of like empty. Like what what am I even doing? When
Hmm.
I don't remember if it was when she went back to see Alexi, when she was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? And I think that is one of the things that at the core of it causes depression. When you as a human don't have a purpose, whatever that may be, that's when depression hits.
Hmm.
And it's important that we have a purpose, we find a point, for us to be alive. But I would just wanted to um, speak on the differences that is a, because you're even saying like it reminds me of another. I've never watched the movie, but I've seen like memes of
Mhm.
like that we're on the couch.
Mhm.
Um, but that is usually how we see somebody that's depressed on the couch with junk food, everything's dirty. But a lot of people that go through depression are people that work, people that look quote unquote okay on the outside. So just because people are able to go to work and be functional, quote unquote functional, doesn't mean that they're not struggling. So being mindful of that.
Mhm. Yep, definitely. And then he makes at the end he makes like a little joke that I have is like, what do you mean? Like you're gonna get like money, fame, and friends and clothes and shit? Like that's not enough, you know? Like like I forget exactly how he said it, but I took that note. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, what you mean? Like friends and clothes and fame and money is not enough? Like how could you be depressed with all that stuff? You know, some kind of like being sarcastic about it. Like I thought it was cool. Uh yeah, the next thing that I have is like right away from the beginning is you start seeing how they start showing up for one another. Like there's a little bit of comments here. There's like things that they say to each other and all that. And the main note that I have is like when they're going up the after the fire and the fighting and figuring out who Bob is and all that stuff, when they need to escape, they depend on one another to escape and
When
go
they're
up
on their
the
back.
fucking yeah when they're on their back they depend each other. So like I was like I wrote it as like I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like oh, working together to physically get out of a hole but metaphorically getting out of a depressive state,
Mm,
you know,
mhm.
like that's what they're doing when they're working together. And also if you notice when at the beginning, maybe because you hadn't seen it or whatever, but when they touch Bob, like he makes them feel go back to their traumas, right? Like that's what's happening at the beginning when they get knocked out,
Yes,
and Yelena has that.
I didn't know that this was gonna be his power. Like obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
when she wakes up, she notices that they're like touching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be their like they're gonna fall in love with each other." That's what I thought. Um, but yes, I think at first I thought that she was just dreaming because she got knocked the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
That she was just dreaming. But then when she touched them, I was like, "Oh, there's." I knew that there was something there. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. Um, but this part of when people talk about like I've been through whatever, like I've been through stuff, and um, I just want to leave it in the past and move on. It's important, I think. There, like the depiction of it is super super important. Of like Yellen is a grown as adult. Like she's made a life. Like I don't know how old she is, but she's an adult, and the the trauma that she keeps going back to, right? Like even at the beginning when she's like, I think it started with my sister died. Um, how little she was, and how as much as like you want to leave shit in the past, if you don't process it, it's going to continue to come back. It's going to be there. It's going to find its way every fucking time. Which is why it is so important to address it. And we see how it changes from the beginning when she's talking to Bob. And then she's like, you just push it down. You
Yeah.
just repress it. Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever pain emotions come up, like the void, you just like, okay, it's there, but like we're not gonna think about it. We're not even gonna address it. And you
Mm-hmm.
just kind of continue going. And throughout throughout the movie, even though they don't explicitly say it, that is essentially what like Bob is doing, right? Like just repressing, 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 repressing until he can't repress it anymore. And it
Mm-hmm.
just like so much darkness comes out of that. And I forgot where I was going. I had a beautiful point and I lost it. Oh yes. childhood trauma, if you don't work through that and you're repressing it all the time, it's going to come out. That darkness is going to come and overshadow your community.
Mhm.
I think that that was a really cool thing too. When at first I thought he was just pulverizing people, and I'm like, oh shit, like this motherfucker has the power to just like turn them into shit, into dust. Um, but is that darkness that will like filter and bleed through everything if you don't work through your shit. And it doesn't only affect you, it really also affects the people around you. um when people are like, but why do you care? Like, I'm the one that's going through it, nobody else is going through that. I'd be like, well, yes, you're the one that's going through it, but people around you can feel that, and
Mhm.
that will definitely affect your loved ones.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't. It affects, well, your behavior and the way you carry yourself affects everyone around you, and how you show up for not only, let's say, your family, but like everyone, your coworkers, the mailman, the fucking your neighbors, and your community altogether. How you're showing up has the power to make things better or worse, or create more darkness or create light. So it does
Hmm.
affect everyone around you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so then after they have all that, the fight, and they end up escaping from there and all that, then the dad shows up again, Alexi, and then it's like, oh, I can tell that, like, now you have more of a light to you, like there's a sense of purpose, because
Yes.
already the conversation with him and her being brave enough to go talk to him, and then talking to Bob, talking to Walker, right? And Walker also being like, having, I also get touched, and then sees this issues with like not being available because of the pain of what he went through and all that. Um, all that is making a difference, and you see the progress little by little of how people, with little comments, little things that they say and do, it's like setting them up to grow and grow, and it's making a difference in everybody's life, right? Like they're coming and
Hmm.
bonding more and more together. Um, then we have the part already, so they take Bob and they put him in this fucking holding cell, and then the manipulation by Valentina begins, right? Of telling him things and all that. So like what I got from there is like people people giving advice that is not necessarily the best when you become vulnerable through things, because if you, let's say, do open up to somebody, and somebody hasn't worked through their own stuff, then the advice that you get is not necessarily the best, and it could end up damaging you even more if you
Yeah.
do that, right? So this kind of, it's so hard to just open up about it, but then when you receive advice that is not the best, it could end up even damaging you even more, or making the things worse. So being
Hmm.
careful in how you receive and who you look for in advice, because it has the power to make things better or worse. Then my beautiful, lovely brain that I have connected it to something else. This is what the armed forces does to our kids. This is what the armed forces does to our 18-year-olds, right? You go, you see somebody broken, somebody's depressed, they see no future, they have no money, they see no shit. Oh, here, come join the Marines and fucking do this and that, and I will give you everything. And they literally take you from somebody who's sad, depressed, does nothing to do with their life, and they turn you into this fucking hero. That's literally the same thing that they do on the regular basis.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of shit that I mean. It's like the shit's right there. You just have to be smart enough to pick up in what the message is and what they're saying. So that's exactly what happens to it. And it's like, oh, okay, like that makes sense, because yes, that's exactly what they do. You go and you look for people with pain, with wanting to be better, with feeling stuck or something, especially at such a young age, you know with the recruiting starting in high school and all that stuff, that they don't know any better, and they can feel stuck, and then just like, okay, boom, go join the armed forces, and we'll give you something for you to be proud of. We'll give you something for for you to look forward to, for you to feel like a superhero, for you to feel amazing. And that's literally, if you look at the commercials by the armed forces, is literally like, be the hero, you're the shit, have something to stand on, make a difference, join the fucking, join whatever the fuck it is, you know. uh,
It is, gosh, that is so true. And like I said, as you're saying that, I can think of a few people that have joined, and and I've asked like, how come you did that? Like, and most of them, and maybe it's the type of people that I know in my life, but most of them were like lower income people that were like, I didn't know what else to do. Either I didn't have a purpose, I didn't have anything else to do, or that was my only way out. If I
mhm,
didn't do that, I was going to be in a shithole and I was gonna somehow, some way end up in jail. So it was either join these motherfuckers or go to jail. Um, so it makes a lot of sense. And for people out there, like, start questioning, are if you are somebody, not even just people of color, because they also recruit white people that are lower income, but start start questioning, like, do you usually see rich white kids go into the military? And more likely than not, the answer is going to be no. So start asking yourself, like, how come them rich white kids are not going to the military?
mhm,
They don't have a need. So I mean, I get it. Some of us, we got to do what we got to do to survive. I understand. But start questioning as to, like, how come we're doing these things.
mhm, mhm. Yep. So then after that, then they have the Thunderbolts show up, and then they have this fight in there, and then Bob is able to beat the shit out of all of them, easily. Then Yelena, Valentina's like, okay, go ahead
Oh,
and kill.
before you go, before
Okay.
you, sorry, I wanted, because I was like, I wanted to say something else, but um, what earlier, when I was saying, if you don't work on your shit, it will keep showing up.
Hmm.
When Valentina is manipulating Bob and they touch, and Valentina goes,
Hmm.
because of something that she said,
Hmm.
her dad was killed.
Yeah.
And she turned it into anger, rage, hate, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
But because of that, and granted, I don't know, like, her life story, and I'm not going to say just because of that, but something that happened when she was very, very young, that apparently she's still carrying a lot of guilt from, how that has turned her into who she is. And for people that say, like, it's in the past, like, I'm not gonna dwell on it, is it's gone, it's long gone, like, that is a beautiful example of, like, again, how it's not gone. Shit,
Hmm.
her full shit that you go through and you don't work through, like, it will stay with you and it will show up in your adult lives.
Hmm.
Please address your things. I know it's painful. I know it. I know. Please. Por favor.
Hmm.
Seek help.
Hmm. It
Please
is.
seek
It
help.
is. It is very painful. The more the more that I unravel and find out about myself, is like, holy shit, this is why people don't do this. This is
Yeah.
fucking scary, and it's painful, and it hurts, and all this shit, and it feels heavy, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this is have some empathy for the people that it's still too hard for them to deal with this shit, because goddamn, this shit sucks, and it's painful, and it hurts a lot. So yes, I understand why y'all don't do it. But I was talking to one of my friends, and it was like, yeah, I just got to remember that on the other side, there's gonna be just as equally as big amount of peace, as big amount of understanding, and as big amount of
Mhm.
happiness to, you
Yeah.
know, to go to.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they have the fight, and then Valentina asked Bob to kill the Thunderbolts, and then he's like, nah. Like they're not a threat to me. Like why would I do that? And I think again that's yet another um, example of how the conversations that they have throughout the movie, it's already making an impact on who he is.
Mhm.
Right? It's
Mhm.
already changing or already getting into his head that people are showing up and this person, like these people were cool to me. I survived because of them. Why the fuck would I do that? You know, that's like a thought process of being there. So it's allowing yourself to change based on people showing up. Um and then the thing when I first saw the most that stood up the most, which now makes sense to me why this stood out the most to me when the whole movie was the conversation when after they get their ass beaten, they're like in the street, the conversation with Elena and the dad,
And his
right?
dad.
Yeah, that he was like, you weren't there, you didn't show up to me for me, you fucking, I was all alone and all this stuff. And then and then she's like, I've done this, I've done that, I've been a bad person, I've committed this crimes or done a lot of bad things. And then the most beautiful thing that he says to her is like, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, oh shit, like that was like the most beautiful thing, like I said when I first saw it. And yet again, as someone showing up for you, someone acknowledging you, someone seeing who you are before all these things happen and life turned away. So just to give you some more background on who Yelena and Black Widow were. So they were spies from Russia, I believe, and they were taken by such a young age to be Black Widows, and they were trained and all that stuff. So in another movie, the one before with the Black Widow movie, they talk about how all the pain that they went through and all that stuff, and they address the fact that I think this is what it is. Like they, because they talk about how Black Widow couldn't have any kids, and they say that they cut off um, they took some shit off or they cut off their clitoris or some shit like that in the thing so that they wouldn't feel any pleasure, and then they did some other shit so that they couldn't have any kids, right? So Yelena and her sister went through a lot of torture, a lot of pain. Like they just showed in the flashbacks of Yelena, right? Like the person getting shot and having that. But and then also, well, like, and another note that I have is how she shows up when they're getting like whipped or something. I forget what it is because I looked up as I was taking notes. So she
Oh,
shows up
yes.
and herself, right, to protect herself from that thing, that pain. So yeah, they went through a lot of shit to become elite soldiers. Again, you completely dehumanize somebody, take all this shit, you do all these things to the reproductive system so that they don't have a family, they can't have a family, so they you have them for life because they have no um distractions, right?
No purpose.
Yeah, yeah. So you do all that stuff. So
Mhm.
um that's just a little bit of the background if whoever hasn't seen the other movies. And then they see Bob and they start he starts doing those things making the people like just turn into like ashes, it looks like, or something. And then I noticed it's just a little beautiful thing, she goes from calling him Alexei to dad, right? Like she calls him dad, like when she's protecting him from the ravel or gravel, whatever the fuck the word is. She switches. So after that conversation, before that it was Alexi, 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 and now she calls him dad after that, right? So I was like, oh shit. So then again, it's so much of the process that we've already been through, and a healing thing that you're able to see how little things change. So now
Yeah.
the anger, the frustration, the shit, and all that. Yes, it's a fucking movie and it happens a lot faster, but those are the little things that happen. Like just the fact that
Yeah.
she switched from that to dad, you're able to see that the relationship has healed, and has been worked on, and to the point that she feels comfortable doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like also one of the things like in that moment when they're having their little dad daughter moment when she's like, you didn't show up, I didn't know anything about you for like a whole year and a half, like where the fuck were you? I needed you, right? And then he's like, I I didn't know, I'm not
Mm,
good at this, like I don't know how to do this. um so and I think like this, uh, it's still difficult for me, for the friend of the friend of the friend who's my dad. Um, like it's really hard for me to still see that
Hmm.
of like I don't know how to do that. Um, somebody called me out the other day when I'm like, I don't think my dad's gonna change and this and that. And then they hit me with they're like, well, but your dad's never had a supportive system. He doesn't know what a supportive system is. Um, he's never had that. Like, how are you supporting him to be able to change? And I was like, fuck my life. It's like, fuck my life.
Hmm.
It's like, I want to. I want
Yeah.
to. But anyway, um, but it all that to say that I think, I genuinely think, and maybe I'm bullshitting you, right? But I genuinely think if that man came up to me and said, I don't know how to do it, I didn't have anybody to show me that, I would be like, bet, I got you. But I think, well, I know I'm going on a tangent here, but specifically for my dad, because he's like, eh, fuck you, and this is the way it is, then I'm like, fuck you. Go to hell. Um, but anyway, so the fact that like what made that moment possible for them is the fact that also dad was like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like I'm also like struggling out here. Um, and I didn't know how to show up for you. But I love you, and I don't see your mistakes. I see you as like that little girl. Because even like after he said that, she was like, okay, that was pretty good. Like I don't have a comeback to that, but it's the part of like just show the fuck up, even if you don't know how to do it. Um, then say that. Say I don't know how to do it. Because that will make a world of a difference. And even and we can talk about like the contrast between it when Yelena and Bob are talking, when they're having their little therapy session when they met. um she's still showing up for them because they're connecting about through the void, right? Like they both go through the void and they both understand that place very well.
Hmm.
And Yelena shows up, granted, when she's like, just repress that shit, just push it down, don't think about it, move on. And she's giving him horrible advice, horrible fucking advice. But she showed up because she is empathizing with the story. Like she knows what that's like. So she's like, I know what it's like to be there. I am right there with you. This is how I handle it. You can handle it like that. Um, but even if it's not the best advice, the fact that she showed up is also what made that connection. So again, if you're struggling, somebody's struggling, and you don't necessarily know how to show up, like just do your fucking best as long as it's coming from a genuine place. Because I think like with Yelena and Bob, that's what allowed them to connect, because she was fucking real about it. Um, yes, thank you. Go on.
Hmm. Yeah. uh, so yeah, so I just have over and over in my notes the examples of people showing up for one another and the impact that that has. That's like I feel like that's the point of the movie. It's like drilling that point across. People show up for you, you're changing, you're understanding, and you're healing when people show up for you and they care about you and all that, and it makes a world of a difference, right? Um, so then when going back a little bit before to what you said, it's like when the void's coming in, everybody's running away. Yelena's like, "Fuck this! I'm walking
Fuck
towards
it.
it. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna walk towards it because I understand." I feel like they can't make everything this obvious, but she already touched them a couple times and went back. So she's like, "Oh, this is what it is." So then it's no longer afraid of it, and she decides to walk right into it, and everybody else is freaking the fuck out. So she
Yeah.
goes in there. Because she already understands, like I said, and then uh, when now that you're in the void and you see again of all the traumas coming up of everything that's happened to her and all that, it was like, oh shit, like that's a cool way to put it, where there's like this separate rooms and like the only way to fucking heal is to go through those rooms, to put yourself again in that situation, to not
But
ignore the shit.
not only that, oh my god, this was probably my favorite part. This is like my dick's getting hard. Um, it's I don't know if I've talked about this story. Have I talked about my therapy session and my how my mom showed up for me?
The last time you mentioned this was when, like, you got upset, and then you guys talked about it in the kitchen.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
I was in therapy.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a survivor of sexual assault. Um, and this happened. My memory is fuzzy. I don't remember. I couldn't have been more than, I don't know, it was like 4 to 6. Maybe I'm wanting to say more like 4. I was sexually assaulted by somebody. And I I was in therapy and I was like working through that, and I went to a room. I went back to the room. Um and my like I had a they're called regressions. Like I regress to that, and I was stuck in that room. I could not get out of it. I could not get out of it. I could not get out of it. My therapist tried. She was so sweet. It was also over telehealth, so there was not much she could do. Um, I was just like crying. And I kept saying like, "I want my mom. I want my mom. I want my mom." And she's like, "Grab a pillow." And I'm like, "No." In that moment, my brain did not understand. Like my brain, as an adult, I'm like, okay, I get it, a body, something, right? But in that moment, because I was so into the box or the room, I could not do it. Like I literally kept saying, like, I need my mom. I need my mom. Somewhere within my adult brain, um, was like, call your mom, like, because I was at my house. So I called her on the phone. This, mind you, this was like a fucking 7 in the morning because my therapist was in Mexico and she starts work early. This is like 7 in the morning for me. Um, and I called my mom and she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Come upstairs." Like that's all I could say. She's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Come upstairs." She's like, "Okay." And she comes upstairs and she opens the door to the room that I'm in, and all she sees, she's like, I'm just tears, just like a ball of tears. She's like, "What happened?" And I just remember asking, I'm like, "Just give me a hug. Just give me a hug." Um, and she's like so confused. My mom is like, "What the fuck is happening?" But I'm like, just give me a hug. She's like, "Okay." So she like big spoons me, and I'm just like bawling, bawling, bawling. And I like it. All I could say was like, "Tell me it wasn't my fault." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Tell me it wasn't my fault." She's like, "What wasn't your fault?" It's like, "Tell me it wasn't my fault that such and such touched me." And she wanted to go into like her adult brain to like rationalize it with me. And then she's like, "Why are you so caught up in it?" And I was like, "Shut the fuck up. Just tell me it wasn't my fault." And she's like, "Okay, okay, okay. It wasn't your fault." And I was just like, and it was, I think it has been one of the most beautiful healing moments in my life when my mom
Mhm.
actually, like, even like, again, she didn't know how to fucking do it, right? Like but she showed up. Like she, in the moment, she wanted to be like, "But why are you so caught up in this? Like this happened like long time ago, homie. Like what's going on?" Um, but she still showed up. So like that is the beautiful thing about showing the fuck up. And not only and for the person that is going through the room, like um because she, the first time that she went into the room, right? Like with the is that her little sister? Who is that person that gets shot?
I'm not. No, I don't think that's her sister. No, her sister.
Oh,
No, I think
okay.
she just failed to protect maybe the other widows, so the other um
Mm,
soldiers or whatever.
okay. So when she goes in there, what does she try to do? She tries to run the fuck away from that. She's like, nope, we ain't doing this. So she runs away, right? But then the wall comes about.
Mhm.
Um, and then she gets like wrapped into like this thing of like that is constricting her, and she's like forced to fucking watch it. And it's not until I don't remember what it is that she I think she like stands in front of the little girl or something. She does something different.
Mhm.
And that's when she realizes I need to show the fuck up. I can't run away from this anymore. I can't repress it. I can't just push it down. I need to show the fuck up for myself.
Mhm.
And that is when I do inner child work, that is literally what I'm doing.
Mhm.
That's literally what I'm doing. Like I'm telling you, like I was sitting there and my mom was like sitting next to me and I'm grabbing her. I was like, Mom, and that's what I do. That's what I do in there. That's what I do. That's what I do. Um, and then when she goes to the other room, right when she's the one that finishes putting her gun first and like everybody else gets whipped, right? Like what does she do? She stands in front of her and she like covers her little ears of like she's showing up for her.
Mhm.
And that is how she's able to go uh to room from room to room.
Yeah.
That is literally what healing is.
Mhm.
So when people ask me, what's the point? Why do I want to go back there? Like the first times that she was there is like she was just forced to relive the experience and do nothing different. The times where she was able to actually go through them is like she showed the fuck up for herself. She comforted herself. She's like, I'm protecting you. I got you. You're safe. Um, and that is what happens through every fucking room. Right when she's like right there, when she's drinking, um, the first time, like her younger self takes over and is like, drink this fucking bottle with me, right? Um, but then later it's like, no, like we don't have to do this anymore. So it is a lot of like that is what healing is. It is going back to the pain and giving that version of yourself a different experience, a comforting experience that it didn't get at that time.
Yeah.
That's literally what healing looks like.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Definitely. And that happens through like neuroplasticity, right? You're going back and you
Mhm.
go back to the same event and then you see it in a different way. So then your brain literally rewrites itself to not be afraid to let go or to ease the pain, to feel
Mhm.
lighter, to do all that. And then you and like you went back to your childhood, and then the present you and the future you doesn't carry that weight anymore, doesn't
Mhm.
carry that anger, that pain, that frustration, that trauma anymore, and then you're able to be closer to your authentic, kind, loving, gentle,
Mhm.
beautiful way, you know.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Yeah, and another example of it, again, exactly what you said, is like when Bob is like, oh, this is the best, this is like the safest, there's nothing crazy compared to everywhere else. And then like his parents are fighting downstairs and he's like, nah, don't worry about it, like it'll go away, the thing there, you know. And then
Mhm.
she just sits there with him, right? Again,
Mhm.
now because she went through her own shit, she's literally able to sit with somebody else now and be like, here, I'm here for you, shows up, does that again, and it's so healing in that way, you know.
Mhm. I don't remember if it was in during that room but when she shifts and she's like, "What I told you was wrong."
Yeah.
Like that's don't repress it. Like
Yeah.
don't repress it. And I think it might have been in that one when he's like, it's fine. It'll go away. And she's like, nah, fam, like you need to
Hmm.
actually deal with your shit. And I think that's like after when they're like when she's like, take me to the worst room.
Yeah.
Oof. I cried and cried and cried and
Hmm.
cried and
Hmm.
cried. And so there's also a lot of people refer to it when I do inner child work, like a lot of people refer to it as shadow work.
Hmm.
Where there's like two sides of the coin, right? And in the worst room, that's where like he's presented with his shadow. And if you think about it, um, like nobody, um, this is gonna be the shoe example, the picture that
Mhm.
that Celia sent me. When he is face to face with his shadow, Yelena already knows what to do. But even though she knows what to do, she knows that all he needs to do is go take the shoe. But like she's not getting the shoe for him. Granted, the shadow was like holding them back. Um, but that is the part where like even when you are able to show up, like nobody else can face your shadow but you. Nobody else can get your shoe but you.
Mhm.
And he's right there fighting with it. He can no longer um run away, and he tries. This is where like people like Goggins, that's why I don't like their approach, um because they're doing the same thing that everybody else has been doing. So like the shadows, like this, it's the pain, is the shame, is there the hurt, all of that. It becomes a very, very mean inner critic. And how people sometimes want to get rid of it is by bashing it, right? So like you see him fighting the fuck out of him, just like punching the fuck out of him. And what happens when he's on top of him? Like it starts like engulfing him, starts eating him up. So he's like becoming that, right? So then when you beat the shit out of yourself, like you can't fight the pain away. Like you can't just beat the shit out of the pain
Mhm.
because it literally does not fucking work. It's and it's shown very perfectly in the movie when he's just like shut the fuck up, just like go away, leave me alone, and it's not going away.
Mhm.
And the only way that it goes away is with fucking love, when just be like stop fighting it, just be with it, right? And that is when like everybody else comes in. When he's about to like turn into that, then the community shows up and is not fighting it for him, but it's just like literally like hugging him, like we're right here, you're not alone, you
Mhm.
are in community. And how that in itself is able to make all of that shame go away.
Mhm.
It was waterworks yesterday. It was waterworks. Um, and that's also what I told them. I'm like, that is what healing is, Mom. Community and love and never knew. Hey, for your shadows. My mom's just like, what is wrong with this bitch? She didn't actually say that. That was just my inner critic. Um, but yes, yes, show up, even if you don't necessarily know how to do it. But don't fix things. Don't fix things for people. Let them be um, in whatever they need to be in, and just you keep showing up. The the more you like are able to teach them that you don't have to run away.
Yeah.
That is not that scary.
Mhm. Yeah, what I got from it is because it was my biggest issue, like back in the day, and even sometimes where a certain fucking like there's a level of pain, there's a level of sadness that starts like creeping up, that feels like the depression again, and like I'm so scared of it that I take myself out of the shit.
Mm,
Like I snap out of it, right? And I'm like, oh shit. I remember, I know where this is. Nope, nope, no, 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 don't fucking go there. Don't let yourself fucking get there in the thing, right? Um, and what I struggled the most was like that acceptance part. Like the part of like,
mhm,
don't deny it, don't fight it, don't push it away, don't do anything, don't do none of that shit. Embrace the fact that you're gonna feel sadness and embrace the anxiety, embrace whatever issues it is that is, just accept them and then pay attention, look at them instead of wanting to get rid of it and push it away, over and over and over. Pay attention to what's happening, to what you feel, because at the end of the day, that's where the answers are, right? Instead of rejecting it, you sit there, you put it. That's where the answers are. You have to again go back and relive those memories and see how you can show up for yourself and put in that work to alter that. But it's
Yeah.
yeah. So then he stops beating himself up, and then he feels better, and the void. I think the void like kind of goes back and disappears for a second. And at the end of the movie, they get the fresh start that they wanted. Maybe not how the way they wanted, and like Valentina was manipulating them, but she gave everybody the fresh start that they all wanted to get. So they're happy now that they're getting a second opportunity. They're gonna be seen and perceived as heroes now instead of like the villains or the bad guys. So
Yeah.
they get that opportunity to again, which we all kind of deserve and need as we go back to being who we truly are, and that kindness and love and empathy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it was. I'm telling you, from the moment I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is what everything looks like. This is what healing looks like. This is what all of this is about. And showing
Mhm.
up and putting the work and the visuals and the way that they showed it
Yeah.
up, it feels it. If you if you haven't necessarily felt that way, I don't know how much is going to resonate, but maybe if you have an idea of been described what it feels like. But if you felt that way, a certain point in your life is like shit. It's like, I'm telling you, when I was watching the first time, it was like fuck. Like I know exactly what this is and how it feels and what he's describing, what they're sharing in the
Yeah.
movie. So it's very powerful, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I
Hopefully,
also think that Bob has bipolar. That's
yeah,
my theory.
yeah, it's bipolar because he says, right, I have these really high highs and then there's low lows
Mhm.
and then kind of get in between. So yeah, it's bipolar stuff. So yeah, hopefully the message hits. Hopefully the message hits, and it helps people out. Um, I personally know of a friend of a friend of a friend that watched the movie and just was upset about how there was a kill switch on Bob, like that little button. He's like, "Oh, how could it be so powerful? They just did that," and that was his feedback of the movie, because this person, um, a little more Marvel backstory. Marvel was the shit up to like a few years ago, and then it completely fell off because they got fucking money hungry, and like
Mhm.
everybody criticized them, and a bunch of shows that they made and movies were like terrible, and now they're back putting more effort and realizing that it shouldn't be that fucking thirsty for money and focus on making better stories. So then this person's like, "Oh, did you see it?" I was like, "So this person hasn't seen like the last 3, 4 movies, hasn't seen them at all, or the TV shows. Have you seen it?" I was like, "Yeah, it's really fucking good. You should go see it. Like, it's really fucking good." And the feedback was, "Oh, this stupid. This movie's stupid. How could it be so strong?" And then they just put like a kill switch on it, and then like that, and that's the feedback, right? Like what I got back from this person, and it's just like, okay, well, it tells me where you're at, and you missed the whole fucking thing of it.
Yeah.
So I've had this conversation with multiple people in the past, but like, pay attention, like pay fucking attention to what you're seeing, what you're watching. There's so many, um, the and this is the thing, right? It still goes with the movies, and maybe to give you some feedback, and you said, "Oh, he's gonna fall in love with her and all that shit." Nah, we don't do that shit. If they do that, people will fucking be upset. Have you milking the shit out of the fucking hero falling in love with somebody that she's not supposed to, or he's not supposed to? Like, that's out the fucking window now. That's old school shit. So it's not that Elemental, Inside Out, Encanto, Turning Red, all these movies are not happening because of like, oh, this is the message that we want to put across. No, they know that if they want us to consume shit from freaking millennials, millennial parents, you have to have the right fucking message. You have to have some fucking depth because that is who we are now. So Disney is not this fucking beautiful fucking entity that is like, oh, let me fucking put proper messages about this shit. No, if you want to make money, motherfuckers, you have to put the right message in there. Otherwise, we will not consume your shit and we will not give a fuck about it, you know. But it's already, I love that that pressure exists to have movies, even kids movies, that have depth, that teach you something, that are fucking helping you grow, helping you go emotional intelligence, helping you go critical thinking, and those things. Like, that is beautiful that they're doing that now. Like I said, whether we're getting it of that intentions because they want us to be smarter, like, I fucking doubt it. But I guess pay attention to what the fuck is being said all the time, you know. And another thing that real quick, that wasn't with this movie specifically, I don't think it was. No, it was with the Superman movie. Was like, I told my wife, I was like, it's fucking beautiful how people can create art that tell you so much without telling it to you directly.
Mm.
That you have to put in a little bit of the fucking work, and all, it's so much beautiful once you put a little bit of the work instead of just blindly looking at fights or whatever, or you know,
Yeah.
upper level messages. So try to try to understand what the message is, and if it's a great movie, a good movie, it will have a message. It will have
Mm.
something that you can take with you. You know, it's not gonna be just very simple, with no meaning or no nothing. Then those are usually what now get criticized as like, not even interested in looking at that, versus something that leaves you thinking and teaches you something. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. It was a really, as a therapist, I appreciated it a lot because, like,
Hmm.
literally, like, I think they did such a good job. Like, I never really know how to explain like inner child work to people,
Hmm.
and those boxes or those rooms were like, yeah, that's literally it. That's literally it. So I'm like, I feel like the person that directed this movie has been to therapy before and they've done inner child work.
Yeah, yeah. And this is also, like I'm telling you, this also with a purpose. Their feedback was that they were getting too crazy and too multidimensional and space thing. So they listened to the feedback of their viewers, and then we're like, bro, we want something that's relatable, that is home. We don't give a fuck about three different versions of you in the space running around with fucking spaceships and random shit happening. Make it something relatable, make it about humanity again. So then with that feedback, they were like, okay, this is what you want, fuck it, here it is. And they gave us that, which is like, cool, thank you for fucking listening. Fucking finally, this is what we needed as fans, you know.
That's
uh,
cool.
but yeah, go watch it. Go watch it on Disney Plus or any other alternative way that you can find, if you want to. So yeah, don't forget, you're never alone. We're here for you. We care about you. We care about your mental health. Care about your well-being. If you ever need to reach out to anybody, um, we're here for you. And go watch the movie and see what you can learn from it. See what you can take away. You know.
Yes. Can I
All
show
right.
off my white hair? Do you see my white hair?
I have
Do you?
multiple. I can't see
Uh,
it.
you can't see it?
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. I see it. It's because I made the screen small already. All right, take care, guys. Peace. Bye.